Yeah. Life slow, blaze high. This ain't just a cut, this is do or die. Who got the hands? Who got the vision? Who built their name off pure precision? Lines so sharp they cut through doubt. Pressure on, that's what we bout. Face so clean it silence the room. One wrong move, that's your doom. Crowd locked in when the cape dropped down. Every barber here fighting for the crown. No excuse, no second takes. Either you real or you break. Steel on scalp, heartbeat race. Legends are born in this place. Who got what it takes? Who built for the pressure? Who came to win? Who built for forever? Blades up high, let the clipper scream. This the arena of barber dreams. Talent, hunger, pain, drama, drama. One stage, one throne, only in BarberMania. Tonight we separate the great from the grind. BarberMania.
All right, this is it. The final two. For the BarberMania, the championship is more about competing. It's about giving back and leading the next generation. And for this final challenge, students and teachers join the competition. Each finalist will teach a class and breaking down their techniques and sharing their knowledge to the next generation. Because you see, barbering is growth. Student to professional, professional to educator. Students will decide who made the bigger impact. Final two, now it's more than a cut, it's about leadership. Now welcome to the championship round.
Welcome to BarberMania. This isn't just a competition. This is where skill, pressure, and discipline meet in the biggest stage in barbering.
You surprised me. You still make some mistakes as well. I was expecting also.
One of the toughest ones, right? It makes it harder when both of you are good because
we both picked out the flaws. Because the whole thing about that is that we want to hide that insecurity.
I don't condone rookie mistakes on professional work.
You have to understand that. What it is or what it is.
For me and from BarberMania, I think both of you guys did a phenomenal job and should leave very proud.
Now let's talk about what's on the line. Because the winner isn't just walking away with the medal. The winner gets sponsored prizes and the front page cover of Barber Illustrated magazine. And even more, you get 6 months free of the Cut app to always keep the business booming. The winner gets his own collection with GMB Pro. As you know, build to match your brand and your grind. To every competitor, bring your best. To everyone watching, stay locked in. Because this is BarberMania. And as you know, BarberMania is powered by our main sponsor, theCut.
Shout out to our main sponsor, theCut, helping barbers stay booked and run business the right way. Download theCut and level up. Tap in with theCut and download it today.
As always, in BarberMania, the competitors can be working with the GMB Pro Battle Ready system. The full-size mobile station keeps your tools organized and ready to move with you. As you know, the LED light stand keeps consistent lighting, so every single detail shines. And of course, the all-in-one mobile table keeps your space clean and efficient under pressure. And the Halo headlamp gives you focused, hands-free, precisional lighting where competition and pressure matters the most. Now let's see who's ready to compete.
So we finally made it to the last
round of the BarberMania tournament. We got two elite competitors who clawed their way through the bracket, and today they are facing off so they could determine who's going to be the winner. For today's challenge, we are going to do something a little bit different and take it back to the basics. We are going to introduce a new way to teach. And a natural progression of a barber who competes is to eventually pass it on to the next generation. So today we are not only going to be judging or based on the raw skill of each competitor, but also the auditory skill that they have when it comes to passing the knowledge forward. So today we are going to have each competitor select the model and create their signature haircut. It could be anything. It could be the haircut that they first fell in love with, anything that reminds them about how they got started. And I want them to take it step by step and imagine that they're teaching this to a 5-year-old. So whoever's watching out there in the world is able to take this knowledge and replicate it forward. Because you see, it's not only about dividing people and having them compete against each other, but passing that skill forward. And that's the most important thing. We gotta be members of our community.
This part of the competition means a lot to me because my life is to teach and pass on the knowledge. And every day I walk, I make sure I change lives. And I want to feel the same from you guys. You're gonna be looking for taking not only what you're cutting, but how you teach it to me. How you teach it to them. You understand? I know you never done this before, but remember, after you become big and paralytic, what do you back do? You go on YouTube, you teach, right? You start going places and you start teaching. It's called elevation. Elevate yourself.
How do you feel, Blayden?
I'm feeling ready. Like Envy said, we haven't done this, but I personally taught a couple classes myself. I know I'm young, but I'm ready to show them what I got. Show them that I could speak, but also I could cut, you know?
Razor Rey?
I feel good. I feel confident about this, man. I been behind the camera a couple times. I taught one class before, so I'm just ready.
Okay, cool. We was kind of little, I think, concerned on what you guys would bring to the table on this challenge. But I'm super excited to see what you guys are going to bring. Understand that when you guys go to the education, you can make it basic and simple. Basically, from where I want to see is just step by step. You know, what you guys, and cool thing that I would love to see as well is that we all know in the barbershop, we have to show teamwork. So something that we do on stage is figure eight and back and forth. So I feel like you guys throwing it back and forth would be like a little cool thing. You know what I mean? Even though you guys are compete, that's where you can fill in with the pause. So if you ever get stuck, even the minute he stops, you get stuck, you can pick up on where you're going off. Basically, like we're doing a stage segue. This is going to prepare you for your future and where you're going to go. And again, I wish you guys the best of luck.
Oh, and congratulations to making it to the last one.
Super exciting challenge, being able to cut hair, but not only cut hair, you know, your why and your what. It's super important. You know, part of being a great barber is knowing what you're doing and why. Right? So breaking down simply, you know, certain guidelines maybe or certain reasons. I want you guys to take these hair models and act like it's a walk-in a barbershop. You know, they come in and they tell you, hey man, you got 100% creative freedom. I want you to do your best work, you know, with what my head shape is, my face shape, and my hair texture. And from that point forward, you execute what you think suits that customer best. Have fun, take it a step further, educate us.
Congrats. Pretty much they cover it all, right? It's a haircut, but think of it like they said. If they come in, if you're teaching a class, get creative. You know, like if you want to throw something in there extra, yeah, but understand that the focus is more going to be on the haircut, what you give, and the execution on how you're teaching, right? The more you put into a haircut, the more the questions you might get asked, right? And I might not hear you talking, and we might ask you a little bit more questions because we want to know, right? You got to put it like when you're on the stage, the person that you have in the front, usually you have a person that knows about barbering, they just want to test your knowledge. And they might know the answer, but they just might want to know how you're going to answer, and if you know it, because they want to pick at you, right? So you just got to think of get in that zone. Sometimes a lot, yeah, the haircut, but sometimes less is better too. So just take that into consideration and let the best one win. Like I said, both of you made it here. Both of you, you know, did what you had to do to get it, so let's get it. And
The timekeeping is going to be your best friend here. I have the best advice we can all give you this: watch that clock. Understanding that when you're on any stage, that clock is the most important thing. The haircut, okay, most people ain't going to retain any of the information, just how you make them feel. So make the audience feel welcome, make them feel good, understanding that you are giving key education, and it doesn't have to be the most perfect education, but that time, because you run out of time, that haircut is also going to be judged. So the way it's going to be judged is you're going to get scoring on your education and how you break it down, and you also get judged on the haircut. So side by side, point wise, one might do better on one, the other might do better than the other. It might equal out at the end, but it throws a little rattle in our game.
Hey, what's going on? Welcome back. I am so proud of you guys, man. A lot of people took you guys for granted. We didn't. We didn't because we were looking at your work, and your work was telling us that you were building yourself to this moment. I value that so much. You guys are the future. What we want to see is how much you care for those who are coming before, or for those who are coming after you. Because we do care for you. That's why we're all here. Try to connect with that person. Imagine you when you started and you happen to be in a time lost somewhere, and then you found this information that is going to lead you. How proud are you of you today?
Very proud.
How about you?
I'm more than proud.
I will be too.
If you was to say something to that young fella that started this journey, what would you tell him?
I tell them, just be proud of yourself, man, and all the hard work, at the end of the day is always going to play out for what's best for you.
How about yourself?
I'll say keep that consistency. Consistency is everything in this. If you don't do it every day, you're not going to make it happen tomorrow.
So I want you guys to deliver that message through your work. And the best one is going to take home the prize that everyone wants right now. But only 8 were chosen out of 1,000. I don't care how great that guy was in the world. He wasn't chosen. You guys were, and you are going to show to the world that you have what it takes to be called the #1 BarberMania class #3. Is that okay? Good luck.
Well, first and foremost, I want to congratulate you two to making it to the finals. It's your time to shine, and it's your time to show what you got. As someone who has experienced both sides of the column, losing is part of a learning experience. So whether you win or lose, take this as a learning experience and move on to the next project and the next venture. I've also known what it's like to feel to crush the competition at a hair show. And so you guys can take that also as a win and learn from winning also. So if whoever wins this competition, remember that winning doesn't mean it's the end of the road and that you're better than everyone else. It's always going to keep being a learning experience, no matter what level you get to. The next thing I can tell you is when you start doing your model, we're going to be looking for a detailed explanation. Have fun with what you're doing, but at the same time, think of it like we're trying to learn from you. Okay, so we're going to be here watching you guys with an open mind. So we're going to be listening to what you say, how you explain it. And at the same time, remember, me and myself as a platform artist, I have also educated in front of hundreds of people, and you guys need to be in that mentality. Make believe you're teaching a bunch of us right now, okay? So take that into consideration when you're up there. And just do what you do, show us what you got.
BarberMania is also sponsored by Salute the Barber, a clothing line built to represent the craft, the culture, and the hustle. This is for the barber that takes pride in details, on the cut, and how they show up. If you live this lifestyle, wear it with purpose. Salute the Barber. Tap in, shop the collection, and represent the culture the right way.
By barbers, for barbers.
And to better facilitate the point system, we have brought on a very expert panel of career professionals, of which have spent a lot of their majority time in the educational school system teaching barbers across the country, especially here in New Jersey. So let's give a round of applause to our special guest today, special educator.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Mr. G, representing New Concept Beauty School in New Jersey. I want to thank for this opportunity. What I'm going to be looking is for precision communication, how you commute your information to us and the audience on your haircut.
Hi, at the school I'm known as Mrs. Pendowie Levine, aka Sarah Scissorhand. I am from Robert Fion's beauty school. I've been there for over 14 years. And Vida Barber is my colleague. We've been together ever since. What I'm looking for overall as an educator is professionalism, sanitation, all that stuff, how you engage your audience, and a good demo. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. I'm looking for like precision, like everything else. I thank you for inviting me here. Thank you very much.
Yep. All right, guys. So you heard it all. This is the moment where you gotta shine the most. It's not all about making the clipper sound, but making your spirit and your soul communicate through that as well. So this is another part of the competition where we choose the models. And I feel like you were the one who won the competition last time. So I'm gonna allow you to have first dibs in selecting models. I'm gonna flip this coin. Is it heads or tails?
I'm gonna say tails. Tails never fails.
All right, you're sticking with tails, man. All right, let's do it.
Let's go. Tails never fails.
Tails? All right, man.
Blayden, nice to see you in the finals. I really think that, I really know that you deserve to be here. I've seen a lot of your work so far, and I'm really super excited to see what you're going to bring here today. You've selected a model. What's your reason behind that?
Well, first and foremost, I want to thank you so much for that. But I chose this model because I feel like throughout this whole competition, I've been doing something like this. Lineups, no kind of styling. I want to show you guys that I can style while I educate as well, and show you expand what else I could do. The last two ones kind of had the same shape up. I want to switch it up and show you guys something else I can do. Show you I can do more.
Awesome.
Razor, you wasn't able to choose your model. How do you feel about this model, and what are you going to be able to show us?
I feel real confident. I mean, I feel like with this haircut, I still would be able to put a little bit of texture, and also you could tell he had a design here maybe like a week or two ago, and also show them how I can fade that out or add something to it or make it look different than what it looks now. You know, because it's a little difficult to take this design out, you know, without putting the same design. So maybe add a little twist to it and see what I do.
What about the educational part?
Oh, the educational, yeah. Just to educate them on basically texture on top and how to get rid of this design. That's my vision right now. Yeah.
Okay.
Or anything.
And as I said, we're not gonna waste no more time. You guys have waited long enough to get to this opportunity. So on the count of three, all hands on deck. Make sure you articulate very well what you're going through it, step by step. And when you're speaking, make sure that you speak to people who are able to understand exactly what you're going for, okay? Play off each other too. All right, the count of three. 1, 2, go.
First and foremost, what I like to do anytime I start a haircut is I look at my model and I want to build it off of my model. So I spin him around and I see he has a lot of hair on top and a V in the back. What I like to do is I'm gonna create a burst fade on this look, a modern burst fade, because that's what I do to like myself. I'm grabbing my 2 guard and I'm going towards the bulk, towards the parietal ridge. All I'm doing right here is I'm blending that bulk with my 2, just a quick little shape up, nothing crazy, and floating out. I'm floating out. I'm not pushing all the way to the scalp. I'm floating out. As my clipper hears a crunch, I'm pulling out towards the head. And now I spin it back around to this side and I'm coming here. Same thing here on the other side. Anything you do to one side, you want to do to the other, because you're looking for balance in haircuts. Haircuts is all about balance and consistency. I've been preaching consistency and I can't do it if I don't say it, you know? So now I'm just going same thing around here. Let me just finish off what I was talking about before, fading it out. Next thing I want to do is I look at my model. First and foremost, I see that he has nice vertical bars, so I plan on keeping that. With a nice C-cup. A vertical bar is actually the line towards the side of the head, towards not the temporal, but right here in the corner of the lineup. So when you line somebody up, you're looking at different areas, 1, 2, 3, and 4 across. 4 different areas. You want to focus on the vertical bars being very even, because that's going to be the very crucial part. What I'm doing here, I see that I had that, so I'm not going to start my guideline too high. My guideline would be the line I make with my trimmer. So I'm coming here and I'm starting it, balding it out just from right here. Just balding out, because you want to create a fade, fading from the baldness to the bulk area, because nowadays people like that bulk area. You might see like everybody back in the 90s rocking the 3 on top, and the fade, but nowadays people like the look that we have that here. So what I'm doing, going with my clipper, open would mean the lever down. So I'm coming here, flicking out, and I'm going just about a finger up. Because I don't want to push my fade too high. Like I said, I want to keep my vertical bars and my C cups. My C cups would be the curve right after the vertical bar.
Razor,
so
what do you do?
So I'm
Razor
coming
Rey?
here,
So
and I'm continuing to do so. I'm gonna let my man speak right here.
This cut right here, I see the design. So in order for me to get rid of the
I'm also grabbing the one. I don't want to interrupt.
Try to start something different. I'm gonna start with a high fade, a classic high fade. You know, so as you see, I'm just balding out, making my line on one side.
And now with my one, after my open guard, I'm closing it up and I'm just bringing it just another finger up just to get that blend really popping, because I really want this blend to pop. And now I'm gonna open my guard, my one guard open, just flick out, because what did I use at the top? I used the two. I'm blending into my two. In here, going up and in, up and in. I'm utilizing my corners, and you may ask, why am I utilizing my corners? I'm doing so because of the fact that if I lay the full blade down, I'm not going for the exact line that I'm going for. If it'll cut too much, you know. So when I'm going with my corners, I'm not just going light work. I'm going into it and digging in. Like I said in the beginning, I'm flicking out most of the time, but I'm digging in with my corners.
So what? So Ray,
what
are you doing?
I want to hear from you a little bit.
Okay, so right now I'm looking at I did one side of the ball line, you know, because this is where the high fade is gonna start. So now I'm following it. As you're looking at the design, I see that I could start the high fade right under the design, and I could fade into it. And as I fade into it, I could see if I could create another design, or, you know what I'm saying, or fade it all out. So as I do this ball line right here, I do it right under the design, and I want to make sure everything under it is just nice and bald, clean, you know. That way it pops, the fade pops a little bit more.
Ray, I got a question real quick.
Yes, sir.
Do you think balding it out with the flipper that way is easier, or?
I would say if using a shaver, if you never cut hair, it's not something that is very easy, because the shaver.
So how would I take it out then?
Definitely you need a trimmer that is zero gap.
It's got zero gap?
I could answer that for you, Platano. So when I'm taking out that zero line, I'm coming, if I'm not fully getting out my zero line, like you said, with the shaver, if I don't have a shaver, like my man Razor Rey said, I'm going with my trimmer. Even if it's zero gapped or not, I'm going in just to bring it up too high. I'm not going the full length of my guideline like I did with my full finger guard, but I'm going just with my corners. Like I said, I was blending with my clippers right here.
You always want to leave a little bit, maybe like a half an inch under the ball line. That way you have space to blend that ball line into the fade. You know what I'm saying? So you always you don't want to take the ball line straight to the line where you have the fade. You always want to leave a little bit. That way you have a little bit of room to play with.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I like that.
And sir, I agree with that, but I'm kind of taking a different approach. Like I said, you see that I'm not fully balding it out. The reason I'm doing so is I like to keep a transition, meaning that I'll see the contrast from the dark to the light. The dark to the light is really gonna make everything pop, because by then I'm gonna really see the lines just pop out that much more. If I would have balded it out right away, I really believe that, especially with this type of hair, if you come in a little closer, you can see that it creates gaps and he got dots here. But that's no problem. You can fix that. If you're a barber and you're consistent in it, you'll be able to do it.
You always want to make sure though that the haircut fits the client too, because there's plenty of haircuts out there that doesn't suit every single client. So you always want to make sure that you try to visualize what you could see on him. As you could tell with him, he already kind of had a fade on the sides. So I'm going for the same approach, because that kind of haircut fits him a lot. So that's my next step.
Exactly. So I agree with Ray.
There, right?
Yes, sir.
You said that it leaves a little bit of spaces, right? So what would be the approach that I should take, like with those spaces?
I was just about to feed into that. You took the words out of my mouth. So into these spaces right here, like I was saying before, if I were to lay the full blade down, it's gonna lay gaps. What I'm doing right here is I'm going with my corner, and you guys can come closer if you want. Come closer with my corner of my clipper. Meaning, and I'm not starting fully bald because I already was taking out my bald line right here. I'm going just about halfway. You guys could come zoom in on the camera right
So
there.
you play with your clippers?
Yes, sir. I'm playing in only for my bottom line as of now. As of now, because I'm taking this step by step, I'm going with my clipper, my corner of my clipper, halfway, just my corners. And I'm not digging into the head, but I'm just putting slightly pressure.
But is that for safety or that's just normally?
This is for, you could say it's for both, to be honest, because if I'm playing with safety, you could say that, but for me, in my aspect, and I would say for a lot of other barbers, that when we're working with our corners, we're more detailed. Not safety, but more detailed, because we're getting the exact point we want. We're not just blowing our clipper everywhere. So if you want to be a detailed barber, stay consistent with what you do. I'm gonna do the same thing that I do on this side to the other side.
And Ray,
So as I
ask you this though, how will you erase that line? Will you use the corners or you use?
I have different ways. I use the corners a lot, but sometimes I might freehand the trimmer, which I don't recommend for beginner barbers. You know what I'm saying? Or
Why not?
Because that's a different approach that you're gonna take, and that kind of takes a little bit of time to learn. So I definitely recommend that as a beginner barber that you start step by step, learn your equipment, and also also definitely use a lot of the corners. Start by using a lot of corners on the clipper.
I got a question for you, Razor Ray.
Yes, sir.
Is it faster to blend from top to bottom or from the bottom to the top?
For me, everybody has a different way of cutting, but for me, I like to blend from bottom to top because that's just something I've always used, and I was able to master that. I can blend either or. But for beginners, I definitely recommend to blend bottom from top. That way you have a visual that if you want to leave a little bit of length on the parietal ridge, you can. If you want to leave it a little bit dark, you can. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna give you guys a quick example.
What about if I make a mistake? I have to push everything up?
I mean, my grandma said that it was easier. My grandma cuts hair, right?
Your grandma cuts hair? So what did your grandma say?
She said from the bottom to the top is a little bit harder because it leaves no room for mistakes.
She said it leaves no room for mistakes.
But from the top to the bottom, it's like a safer zone. So I was just trying to see why Ray.
I would say the easiest way for me, personally, everybody has a different approach, is from bottom top. Because the hardest lines you have to get out is the shaver, the trimmer, and the open guard. So those are basically the hardest steps in doing the skin fade. So definitely once you erase the shaver and you erase the open, you're able to play with the 1, the 1.5, and stuff like that. So it's a lot easier to blend.
Exactly, and that's exactly what I'm doing right now.
It's as a beginner because I just started cutting hair 2 days ago. Thank you guys. I just bought my first clippers. So I'm doing a lot of mistakes right now, so I'm asking because I'm confused on the top to bottom, and it's kind of like they're telling me that it's easiest. He said that for the bottom it's the hardest line, but if I take it up to high, I can't bring it back down.
So that's one thing I could answer you right there. So
where is the guideline according to the barbering or styling? Where is the beginning guideline? How do you recognize where is the guideline so that when anybody's gonna start a fade, understand where the guideline starts?
So that's what I was gonna go about. So in the very beginning of my haircut, I said I'm tailoring each and every haircut to each and every client. So not each and every haircut is gonna be the same. As you can see, we have a high fade executing right here.
Why?
And I have a burst fade executing here because of the fact that my client had a lot of hair back here. And I don't want to just take it off and say, bye-bye hair, I don't got to deal with you. I want to incorporate that hair and blend into it. And same thing for that, for the guideline.
This is a specific question, a specific answer. When you have your client in front of you and you're going to start your guideline, what is it that you take in consideration as you begin the guideline?
And like I said before, to each and every client is going to be different. So I'll take into the style of the hair.
I would say the placement of it too, because you also need to know if your client has indents or you know what I'm saying. So the placement of the fade is definitely very important when you.
So Ray, I got a question. So why did you choose to put the guideline where you put it on his head?
Definitely because I wanted to do the high fade because I wanted to show everybody how can I get rid of this design. So as you see, I have it open here. It's bald here. And now it's just open. So my plan is to get rid of the design because that's very hard sometimes trying to get rid of the design. So I start fading here, and as I look at the spots, I will be able to create my own design, with that.
we're doing a complete different design.
So you're doing a different design, or you're gonna give them a military fade?
No, different design, different design.
Different design.
Yes,
so
sir.
so you're not gonna keep on taking it higher than that, right? I'm just a little scared because, like I told you, my grandma's been teaching me, but my face has been going too high. You know what I mean? I feel like
I always say for
I
beginner
could
barbers,
give you a perfect answer for your question right there. If your grandma keeps on telling you that your fade keeps on going too high, I would say if you keep on trying to go from bottom to top, try the other way. Go from top to bottom, meaning like I did. That's what I did right here. I incorporated a little of both. I started with my 2 to debulk and lay everything down so I get a nice foundation. So I get a nice foundation of everything. And with that foundation, I was able to build up from there. So I started going down, but now I'm building up. So I'm doing an incorporation of not just one, but both of them.
So how about on Ray's fade? Would you have started how he started, or would you started from the?
I would still do an incorporation of both, because like I said, I want to lay my foundation for my entire cut. So I would have laid down whatever it is. I probably would have done with this hair that I'm looking at right now, a 1/8 open. That's my 1 guard open. So that's 1/8 open, and I would do that because, like you said before, it's safety best. You lay down your foundation and you build up from there.
Thank you.
Razor Rey, looking at taking a chance to look at his haircut, what would you have done different if you had his model?
I definitely would have kept the burst fade because he does have the length on the back. But me personally, I probably would have made a different look on top because he does have enough length to play with. So I definitely would have had a little twist to it, maybe a little comb over or something. You know what I'm saying? Just to add that little twist on that burst fade, so that it's just not a texture fringe.
So to continue on my haircut here, as you can see, I kind of erased what I said at my bottom was creating my contrast. Now I take a step back. You never want to be too close to the haircut because you're going to be stuck on one part. Take that step back and look it. As you all probably see, I see a gap right here, and that's where I'm going to attack. I'm not going to attack that exact gap because that's cut. I'm going to cut around it to give it that blend. And what I said before with the corners is everything, especially in fading.
14.5 minutes left.
Dale.
Like that cut going.
All right, guys, we have 35 minutes. We're going to give you guys a quick breather, but we'll come back in the next 10 minutes.
All right, here we are with the last 2 competitors. How exciting, the last round. We're about to find out who is the top barber. So let's start with you, Ray. First off, congratulations to even making it to this round. How are you feeling right now? I know they threw a whole curveball at you. I know you're having to teach, which you've probably never done. How confident are you?
Well, man, I feel really good, man. I'm here for a reason, so I'm just here to show out.
What are you doing right now that's different?
Definitely was a lot different. He had a previous design, so I definitely have to put a lot more work into it because I have to figure out a way to get rid of the design or maybe incorporate a different design.
And tell me, what do you think that the judges are going to look for in the haircut? Not educating, just in the haircut.
Definitely for it to be clean, precise, and just a great haircut that fits the client.
All right, Ray, well, you're doing a great job. Keep up the good work and good luck. All right, now I'm here with Blayden. Congratulations to you as well for making it this far in the round. How are you feeling right now? How are you feeling with the curveball that they threw at you?
I'm feeling good. I don't really feel this is a curveball for me because I like to show a lot of people what I could do. So I like to not gatekeep, as they say now, but like I like to expand the game.
And how do you feel about the educational part? Is this something that you're stepping out of your comfort zone? Have you done this before? How are you feeling right now?
Man, I love the education because this is how I came to be a barber myself. I went to education classes. I did things to get me to where I am today, and I would like to do the same for others.
All right, Blayden, and last question. How confident are you right now that you're just going to take this all the way?
I'm more than confident. Like I said before, I stay composed, stay consistent, and it's going to happen for me. All praise the Lord, you know?
All right, Blayden, well, I'm wishing you the best of luck.
Yo, so I see that you're using enhancements over there. Hope you got the haircut
I'm adding
was
a little
sweet.
bit of enhancements because he definitely has a little bit of light spots here. So I just want to darken it up a little bit. That way it looks nice and sharp. And as you guys see, I also incorporated a whole different design. I was able to blend it out and incorporate my own little twist to it. So as I'm going, I'm just gonna add a little bit of enhancements. Nothing too crazy, nothing too dark, something that makes it still look natural. So that's the most important part. You don't want to, we're not painters. At the end of the day, we want to make sure that everything's natural as possible. Because a lot of people, they get haircuts with enhancements and they go home and they take a shower and they think it's a whole different haircut. So the main thing when you're adding enhancements, you want to make sure that it's as natural as possible and make sure your lines are sharp before adding that paint. So
How do you make it natural as possible? Because sometimes when I do it, it's too dark.
So the main thing is if it does end up a little bit too dark, that's because you're applying too much paint. So you always want to start little is better you know, because you can't, it's harder, it's gonna take you a lot more time to take away the paint than actually adding more. So you always wanna start little by little, see how it goes, and then from there you could kind of, as you look at it, you'll see, okay, this looks a little bit more natural than actually it's painted.
So I got a question, right? I see that your fade is almost done, right? And it's looking pretty good. But like when I was talking about earlier, when my grandma was showing me, right?
Yes, sir.
Like we're at a part where it looked good, but I still feel like in the top, I see a little bit of bulk. How would I take that out?
So the main thing when you're seeing bulk, I already trimmed the top, I texturized the top. After that, I just wanted to make sure the lineup is straight. And to add that extra texture, you always want to go in when you see a little bit of bulk like this.
I see it.
Go in with the.
I'm talking about like on the side right
the
now.
finish shear. So the finish shears.
Okay.
The finish shears is going to be your best friend when you're moving. When you're removing.
And you're doing that today here?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
So Ray. Yes, sir.
So when you're doing your hairline, what are you looking for?
So the main thing you want to make sure
to make it even hairline.
So
how do I make it even hairline?
So the main thing you want to make sure, you want them to look at you. That's the most important part, because everybody's head shape is different. It might be one more round, so not necessarily you actually give them a straight line is going to give them that straight line up. So what's very important, you definitely look at the head shape.
What do you start with first?
I start in the middle. And I work my way around the corner. So as I start in the middle, I just work my way little by little, so I get that sharpness where it looks straight.
I mean, Blayden, you have a little bit of a different hair texture over there.
Yeah,
you know,
so
how you hit the.
See, I actually wanted to answer your other question previously too. So you had mentioned that both of us were using enhancements, and I was just mentioning that to Ray and a couple of the other judges previously off camera. But I was saying that when I'm doing my cut, I had some comments previously about like too much enhancement and stuff. But this challenge was show what you like to do and explain how you do it, because now times are changing, you know. And I explained to Ray and the other barbers that although I do add enhancements to my haircut, especially this one right here, I make the cut make the enhancement, not the enhancement make the cut. Meaning, the enhancement is used to enhance, not just, I'm not gonna have no line and spray it over. So I'm doing everything before with my clippers, with my blade, with my everything to make it that much sharper. And then the enhancements is just the cherry on top.
So how do you keep your contrast low?
So the way I kept my contrast low, I kind of answered that previously by looking and tailoring it to my client. So when coming here, I didn't start like my boy Razor Rey did, where I just made a line through here and did it. I made my guideline very short and small, and then I blended up. But like I said, what did I say before? I laid my foundation with my tube. So I know, oh, I'm not supposed to pass this area. I'm gonna continue to make it that much cleaner under that area.
But keeping the graduation,
yes, sir.
Short space area, you should round it over the ear and then blend it up.
Yes, sir.
I feel like when I do it, I have a hard time. When let's say I hit, you made the line, I do this, and then I end up coming up too high. How do I keep like that?
So that's kind of points to my point before, where if I'm going too high up, I take a step back, lay it down, and work with my corner work. Go corners, don't lay the full blade down, because I realize when laying the full blade down, if I'm doing this, I'm coming in, and I'm this side of the blade that I only want to hit this side, it's hitting and digging into the other side that I want.
And let's say he had longer hair around here. How would I remove that bulk to let it?
So the way you would remove that bulk, I kind of did it with some of my texture, because he did have some bulk here. And this was off camera, but I'll do it a little more again, because I do see some lines right here. I see a line right here, and I'll explain how to do that right here. So what I'm doing is I'm grabbing my clipper, and I'm grabbing the my comb, and I'm grabbing the fine teeth. I'm not grabbing the wide teeth, because I want to grab almost all the hair I could grab. So I'm combing down, and then I comb up. I see what I want to cut, and I cut.
So am I cutting the ends or am I cutting in?
I'm cutting the end. I'm not digging in, but my comb is gonna be my best tool here. Where if I bring in my comb, I'm gonna cut here. But if I'm bringing out my comb, I'm cutting wherever my comb lays the hair. So if I'm combing this down, I see this right here. I'm bringing my comb straight out from that. I'm not going in. I'm not doing none of that. I'm combing it down, straight out, cut. Couple snips, lay back down, look around, see a little more right here, straight out, cut.
So how do you know whether to use your thinning shears or your regular shears when you're doing that?
So
Great question.
For me personally, when I'm using my thinning shears are some people like to call them texturizer shears, right? And with those texturizer shears, I'm creating texture throughout. I'm not just creating one harsh line. As with my shears, on the other hand, it's gonna create one straight line across, and I want texture throughout my bulk and throughout my balance of my haircut.
Well, so I'm doing Ray over here using similar too with thinning shears.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So I use the thinning shears.
Lunch in 7 minutes.
What were you saying, Razor?
So I definitely use the thinning shears. As I did a high fade, you definitely don't want to leave too much on top too much bulk on top, because then to me the haircut would look a little bit funny because I already given him that high and tight. So the main thing is I definitely, after I texturize, I definitely made sure that I use the texture shears. That way I was able to remove some of that bulk on top and be able to style it the way I want to.
Razor Rey, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
As far as when you say thinning shears, right? There's different shears. I see one's a wider, one's a smaller. Which ones do I pick? What do you mean by a thinning shear?
So the main thinning shears that I would choose is so I would use the more chunky ones if I want to remove that weight.
Okay.
Because the chunky ones is able to get inside that hair, and also I would use the smaller ones if I'm trying to detail a fade.
So that's what I'm using here today, is the smaller ones?
Yes.
So what I'm doing here is I'm just shaking off the back of the hair. I'm looking at it, like I said, I take a step back, always. I know you guys been seeing me damn near to the judges table looking at these cuts all competition. But you want to get each and like different points of views of the haircut, because you could see it one way on this side, but it looks the completely opposite on the other side. So you want to look and create that balance. I see that I have that balance right here, and it's all meeting in the middle right here. Do a little design in this hair to throw a little flair, cleaning it up, all about the balance in this cut. This cut is all about the balance, texture, and cleanliness overall. Perfect. So Ray, let me ask you, when you were doing your cut, what was your main goal with this cut?
My main goal is just to leave a clean, nice fade with no lines that has that you see that the haircut is very symmetrical and also fits his head.
Okay.
A lot of haircuts do not fit everybody's head.
Okay, and I feel like I have a similar approach in doing so. Like I said, I'm looking for the balance, the blend, and the punniness, precision. Like the judges say, precision is what they're looking for. That's what I'm trying to go for right here.
What's your overall vision for that haircut?
My overall vision is to get it clean. Nah, all jokes aside, I'm really trying to, like I said, get that balance, get the burst fade, the modern burst fade, because I'm seeing a lot of people where there's a modern mullet, there's a modern this, but here's the modern burst fade that I feel like we haven't seen throughout this competition. And I want to show all types of the younger generation, me included, that there's much more than just crop look. There's multiple you could do with it than just the categories that we had. Let me ask you, as you're going right now, what are you doing now?
Right now, I'm just detailing. I'm gonna use a lot of my corners right now to eliminate the lines that I see.
Okay.
Always step back and look.
I have a question for you, boss.
Yes, sir. What's up?
So, what is that you're using right there on the haircut?
So what I'm using right here is concealer, and like I said, I'm trying to show the new cats, anybody coming into this game, that yes, there's clippers, there's blades, all this, but there's more to it. This is not just cutting hair. This is an art form. This is an art form, and I want to show that yes, the basics leads to cutting hair, but there's more to it. There's art. So this is a concealer made by my boy Chippy the Barber, and this is to make my negative lines in my design pop that much more, expand. Did that answer your question, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What is the
thing
of concealer?
So the point of concealer is, like I said right here, is to make anything that I have right here, once I have it bald, to make it pop just that much more. We're in a competition setting, we're in this, so I'm not just showing you guys how to do a haircut, but how to execute a haircut in a certain amount of time and in a competition setting.
Ray, is concealer something that's widely used in Florida?
Definitely, we definitely use it. We mainly use it for competitions. It's definitely something that it makes the design pop. It lightens up the skin. That way, when you do the design, it just makes it a little bit more flashier when you use that concealer.
What percentage of your clientele use concealers?
I would say about a good 10, maybe 10, 15%, you know?
People go to the barber shops and get designs?
All the time.
Yes, sir.
People come to the barbershop, they ask, do whatever you want, freestyle my whole head, all of it. So you just got to be ready for what's coming.
Do you feel like this distinctive style between Chicago and Florida?
Oh, for sure, man. I think there's a different style between every state. Everybody cuts different. Everybody has their own way of cutting, and also different styles. There's different styles in Florida, Chicago, Jersey, you know, all over the place.
PA, don't forget PA.
And PA.
I came to see you from PA.
PA. For sure, PA. Shout out to PA.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And to my grandma.
And shout out
to your grandma. Come
shout out to Abuela. Shout out to Abuela.
I have a question for both competitors.
Yes, sir. Talk to me.
What message would you have to barbers who are completely against enhancements and everything else that you're using?
I would say definitely give it a try.
I tell everybody this, including everything in life: don't knock it till you try it. Don't knock it till you try it. So, like, if you don't like it when you use it, don't use it. But if you love it and you like the art form that it's creating, don't knock it till you try it. Continue to, and if you don't like it the first time, do it again. Like I said, consistency is key. If you want to get good at something, you're gonna do it multiple times.
Honestly, I wanted to add to that. I want to piggyback off that. I also I think it's very important that you're versatile as a barber, because there's many clients that come into the barbershop and they'll say, I want enhancements. So even if you don't like it, you know, you would lose out on the client because you don't want to do it.
I want to piggyback on that, right? And take this one serious. So, that's some question that they asked a lot. But for me, right, I like to do uniques, right? And
yeah,
I do uniques. In the beginning, everybody was against you. They said that it's not gonna work, it's not gonna think. And today, I travel the whole world doing it on people that you wouldn't even believe that have one on. So like, you know, it's a personal choice. If you don't like it, cool. But you know,
you should always
try it.
Yeah, you shouldn't close your hobby. You should always try everything. If you're a barber, you should be able to try everything, even if it's coloring hair or designs or anything. When I started as a barber, I was definitely fearful of doing design. But once I let my hand go, that's it. You know, practice. You just got to practice on what you like and just keep practicing, because it don't happen overnight either.
And how about the ones that use enhancements to cover the flaw? And then when the clients go home and they wash their hairs, they find that.
And that's what we were talking about previously, that we don't have the enhancement make the cut.
Yeah.
Make that cut pop before you apply that enhancement. That's kind of what we talked about previously here.
All right, I see both of y'all texturizing the hair and
Yes, sir.
kind of doing y'all thing. So how do you go by texturizing the hair?
So by texturizing the hair, what I'm doing here is I set sections throughout the hair. I set 3 main sections. I set right here on both sides, and I consider that 2. And throughout, I meet it in the middle. This is quick competition looks, but in throughout, you create 1 here, 1 there, 1 here, 1 there. Right here, I'm doing it the kind of more advanced, quicker way, but
which is what?
So, which is what I said right here. I'm applying the 2 lines here. Quick, boom, boom, rather than setting section.
Boom, boom. I understand that.
That's what I was about to explain. Rather than setting the section right here and parting it off,
But
I'm
why
coming in
they
here.
go a little bit more higher?
I'm sorry?
know how much to cut.
So I'm applying it to my client. So if I know that he has bulk here and I'm blending from the 2, I'm grabbing my 2 line, pulling out my hair, and cutting until I meet that 2 line. Once I meet that 2 line, I meet in the middle, come here, and cut in there.
I would say also too, the main thing too, there's a lot of people who come in with straight hair and they want some texture up there. The main thing about texture is definitely use point cut in the top. That's the main thing that you have to learn too. There's a lot of ways to make straight hair look like it has texture. So definitely it starts by your scissor work on top too to have that texture in the hair.
So when you texturize, how do you know which product to go with, like matte, clay, gel? Can you explain what type of products would you really finish off with a
So
texturizer?
I'm gonna give you a personal opinion. For me, my favorite is to use some type of wax, or it all depends on the client. If they like a wet look, dry look, that's something you definitely want to talk to your client about, because some people don't like that wet look. Some people want a dry look. So there's different texture powders and all that to make those type of looks. So it's all what your client wants, to be honest. So I think the main thing is, when you're asking, is to ask the client, do you like a wet or dry look?
Whenever you're creating texture on top, why do you have to point cut? Why can't you just straight cut?
Point cutting creates texture on top of the hair while you're cutting it, because cutting it straight is just going to even out the hair and it's not going to add no type of texture. So point cutting is very important, because you're basically cutting in between each hair.
You pinpoint with the shears or with the other one?
The other one, not the thinnest shears.
Oh, okay.
Well, why wouldn't you use the thinning shears? Wouldn't it be easier for you?
I like to start. I like to start with the regular shears to point cut, and then after, if there's a lot of bulk, then I'll use the thinning shears, because that actually adds a lot of texture too.
I see you guys go through like several combs. How do I know the difference of what to use and when?
So that's kind of, I could answer that question, DC. So with my combs right here, I got 2 main combs that I like to use. This one and a texturizing comb. The texturizing combs would be right here. Texturizing comb is what I'm gonna use right here. This has wide gaps. The wide gaps is what I'm gonna create that texture, and I'll do so right here by giving an example. So I'm creating it here, but I'm holding my hairspray, break. And this is creating texture in the hair. Just give it that finished final look. And I'm using my fine teeth comb. I'm going in while I'm cutting. I'm not just doing it for no reason, no purpose necessary. My fine teeth are grabbing each and every hair.
Before you leave the comb thing, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, well, this is for Ray. I seen that your crop was already like textured.
Okay.
With on Ray's cut, right? It was already textured with your hand, like where you didn't even need to use nothing. How was that? Because of the pinpointing? Because I didn't think that you need it.
Definitely, point cutting is very important when creating texture, and also the thinning shears.
Okay.
So I use at the end of the thinning shears actually debulks the hair. So it actually, when you use it, it creates that texture that you want.
Well, I mean, for me, it's because I always have to use the comb, but I watched you do it with your hands, and it just looked amazing. So I just wanted to commend you on that.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it.
How do you know when to use color or not? Why did I find out?
So when I'm using color right here, it's like I said, in a competition setting, you want to show all that you got, each and every avenue of hair.
4, 3, 2, 1.
What's up, y'all? My name is Blayden Diaz, and I just executed a burst fade with a design and some coloring. I'll give you a background of how I started this. I started my haircut by laying the 2 down, laying a nice foundation for my entire haircut on both sides, so I could blend into the both, but I wanted to keep a nice darkness contrast. So I started my foundation, and I then blended up. After I blended up, I created my design here, and my design came out clean. And there we go. That's what we did right here.
It's Razor Rey the Barber, and we're here at BarberMania Season 3. And as you see, I did a high skin fade with some texture on top. My main focus was to show everybody how I can get rid of his old design and add my own twist to it. So as you see, I blended out the old design and still added my own. Added some texture on top. Nice bald skin fade. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
All right, the narration, right? The narration now.
All right, I'm here with Razor Rey. Ray, that was difficult. You know, they threw a curveball at you. They made you educate. I know that was difficult. As somebody who has educated on stage, it's really, really hard to educate and finish a haircut. And you guys were timed. What did you have, like 15 minutes? 50?
50, something like that, yeah.
So how do you feel you did on the educational part?
I definitely feel like it was very difficult because you got 2 people going at each other trying to show and educate at one time. It was very difficult, but I feel like I did okay. I did my best I can. I shared my knowledge to the people, and I hope, you know, they was able to get something out of it.
And what about your all-around haircut? You did a really, really nice fade. Tell me about that. How are you feeling about your haircut, the haircut portion of this?
Oh, the haircut part, I think I executed really good. I mean, I did what I can. I changed the whole design and gave him a nice fade and some texture up top. So I think I did really good on the haircut part.
Now tell us, how confident are you that you have won BarberMania? How confident are you?
I'm very confident. You know, we're taking this to Florida, Tap TV3. You're going to see us. I'm very confident.
Well, this is huge, and I'm wishing you the best of luck.
Thank you so much.
All right, now I am here with Blayden. First of all, congrats on making it this far, Blayden.
Thank you so
I've
much.
seen you come out with so much energy. Where did that energy come from? How did you feel? Like, what got you that motivated?
And I grew up around a loving family that supports what I do, so I feel like that just came naturally. The energy came naturally.
Okay, and thinking back right now, is there anything that you would have changed or gave a different approach to?
I don't think I would have changed anything. I like how I spoke on what I was doing while I was doing it, and I like my execution overall.
How do you feel about the haircut? Just the haircut, not the educational part. Just the haircut. How do you feel about the haircut portion?
I really love the haircut. I like the little design and the color, how I faded from red, pink to purple. I love the contrast of everything.
And how confident are you right now that you are going to be the winner of BarberMania?
I'm very confident. I'm looking at Deanie on my side here. I'm trying to stand right there too, you know.
All right, Blayden. Well, you did an amazing job, and I'm wishing you the best of luck.
Now it's time to take it to the judges so we can finally know who's the winner. BarberMania 3.
Well, what a show. Oh my God, you guys did an amazing job. I cannot believe it. I was entertained, mixed emotions. Everyone tried to really impress not only the judges, but the invitees. I see that you guys were doing an amazing job trying to lead that, paving the way for the legacy behind. Thank you so much for your efforts and your try. We're down to the nitty gritty, and I wanna tell you, Razor Rey, I noticed that you were a little shy towards the beginning. We were prompting your questions that you answered pretty accurate. Some of the most intricate questions that we ask you. did your best to convey that message with the haircut. Blayden, I see that you're very outspoken. You also hit a lot of the questions as well. You also explain some of the situations that you were creating and how to come out of them. Like for example, when you said that you was playing safe by using the number 2 guard, just in case a newbie was watching, and then you will be able to make him understand that. On the other hand, when it came to the haircut, I saw that you had some flaws. On one side, it was a chunk out of the style, which you actually covered with the enhancements. I noticed that also on the blending of the pulp, there was some inconvenience there. Well, in overall, you have certain issues. You really presented your style, your way. You said the enhancements was the new wave, the paint was the new wave, and then we must adapt to the future. Again, you overdid it a little bit. You also used it to cover some of your flaws, and that was one of the things I mentioned earlier. But in overall, guys, you made it to the final 2. You are in BarberMania, and I wish you the best, because I see that the best of the contest is here. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
We're gonna start out with Blayden. You're great. I think you're gonna be a great teacher, right? But the first thing that we try to say is that if you know somebody's weakness, use it to your advantage, right? Like if you know that you're more outspoken, I wish that you would. Like I would have preferred you helping him, and I would have respected that more than kind of overpower him just because he should, right? Just because I'm on the stages, and you got to know who is next to you, so that you got to be a team player, right? And you're around one of the greatest in Chicago, right? So you know better. So it's kind of like I'm not gonna not come at you for that, right? But in the overall, like you already know who you are. Nobody really got, like, this is not gonna determine who you are, because you already know who you are. You keep on working on those little things, and there's no limit. I mean, overall, you're here, you're in the final. So what anybody else can tell you? Nothing. You're here, and you know who you are. I just wish that you would be more of a leader, that I know who you are, you know what I mean? And just showcase more of that instead of, just try to overpower. On the haircut, yeah, there's flaws, but you also know that you're speaking and you're teaching at the same time, so it's a little hard. But proud of you, you know what I mean? On Ray, I love how you kept your composure even when he was over. We watched you. We were sitting here watching you. How are you gonna react when he took over? And just your misdemeanor of how you kept it, how you kept your cool, because you could have did the same thing, and you was like, nah, I'm gonna let him do what he do. But even when I asked you the questions, my grandma is proud of it, and that's it. You know what I mean?
I just want to start off by saying congratulations to both of you guys. You guys made it to the finale with BarberMania, and for that in itself is amazing. So to be quick, Ray, I really liked the overall cut. I think you did a great job. Anytime the judges asked you a question, you answered it with an educated answer, which is what we were looking for. Blayden, you did a great cut as well. Your education is through the roof. I was impressed. Delivery is sometimes, everything is a work of art, right? And with time comes experience, and with reps you get better, so you'll figure that out. But you have a bright future ahead of you, and congratulations to both of you guys. You guys are awesome barbers, and much respect.
You got one that congratulations, but you did a great job. But you got one that excelled in his haircut, and you have one that excelled in education, which made this decision very hard. In the sense of overpowering him took away from you giving that haircut. When you had to balance that out, that was an important key factor in your educational part. I felt like you needed to dumb it down a little bit, all right? Because, like, the producers told you that you gotta dumb it down to a 5-year-old so they can understand. I felt as an educator, making those lines, it's very difficult for students to erase those lines. You could sit there, you could turn blue, teaching them all these techniques, but it's difficult, but it's what you know. So I can't take that away from you. You have a strong amount of education, which means that your background, there's somebody behind you that's giving you all this education, You did very well. I was very impressed with a lot of things that you said. But when it comes down to your haircut, you got too much bulk over here. The back could have been more designed better. You know what I'm saying? Biggie was excellent. It's really good. I like the way you incorporated your design in it. It's simple. But it's like tough to touch the situation because one excelled one place and one excelled at the other. I'd like to take this time to ask a student of mine that's here. Nate, what did you feel that you learned from this educational moment from each one?
Blayden, I feel like he was able to dumb it down, like you said, a lot better. Definitely, but the fading process, I was able to understand from Ray as well. Other than that, though, it was good explanations from both. I was able to understand everything, so
that's your input.
So number one, like I've always said, congratulations. You guys are finalists. For me, you guys are both winners. You guys made it to the last. It's really hard to get there, and you guys have done it. Instead of telling you basically what you've done wrong, I want to give you some advice on what you can do better. All right. Number one, you guys' haircuts, flawless. We both know you guys cut hair. Great job. All right. I'm gonna go first with Blayden. Your engagement, very well, very well. You had everybody engaged. You were happy. You were energetic. You were also original. Some things that I liked about you. Some of the things that I didn't like about you. And again, I'm not here to like you or not like you, and just to advise you, right? Is that you were a little nervous, and you can tell why you spoke. I think it could slow it down, and I'm only telling you this because this is what they told me, and this is what helped me. I'm only sharing, not teaching. Calm it down a little bit and allow others to talk. At certain times, they were asking you a question, and you were responding because you knew it already. That can make somebody in your audience go dumb. Allow them to ask the question, and then sometimes, not all the time, most occasions you was like, hey, and you incorporated DC, asked the question earlier. Let me get to that first. Awesome, you. I think you did a phenomenal job. Congratulations. Razor Rey. Great job. Finalist, represented. Some of the things I liked about you was your great responses. You will ask multiple questions. You didn't hesitate. You were calm, cool, collected, and you delivered the response that needed to be delivered. At certain times, you really didn't know the information correctly, maybe from an educational standpoint, but you improvised your education. And for me, the barber's education and what they learned through error is the most important thing, because that's what's going to create your curriculum moving forward. You were confident, and at times that you ever said that you didn't know the answer, one thing that it didn't like was that you allowed yourself to get overpowered. At certain times, Blayden would take the stage, or a question was asked to you, and Blayden allowed, I would have simply just responded, Blayden, I got that. The question was asked to me. Respectful, okay? One of the things I like to share with you, that I share with a lot of education. In education, there's three types of learners: kinesthetic, visual, and audio. So when you deal with education, you must hit all of it. I think you did a great job. For me, this was my first time educating with you. And like I told DC, if I had a company tomorrow, I would hire you both and put you on stage. So I'm super proud of you guys today. I think that you guys deserve to be the finalists, but only one Wednesday today. And I'll let the gentleman keep the score. Thank you guys.
Okay, gentlemen, you both left it all out on the chair, and you did an amazing job. So credit goes out to both of you. And I'm going to start with you, Blayden. From an educator's point of view, I think you explained everything in detail. You did a great job. At the same time, you kind of sort of spoke, a little bit too much and didn't allow Mr. Razor a chance to do a little bit of educating himself. So we had to pause you and then move on to him. I think you got very creative on your haircut, and you try to think outside of the box with the design and just the creativity part of it. You also managed to cover up some of your errors on one side with the fade with some enhancements, but you pulled it off. Ray, you did a very good job also explaining some difficult questions that were thrown at you. You kept your composure and you finished strong. And for that, I tip my hat off to you. But gentlemen, there can only be one champion, and the judges have made a decision.
So, with the decision made, and the brackets come down to the final two. Blayden Diaz. They're great. Razor Rey.
You have the cutting edge.
Forever. arena, barber dreams. Talent, hunger, pain, dreamer. One stage, one throne, only in BarberMania.
Alright, it's Razor Rey the Barber, winner of season 3 of BarberMania, man. I'm here representing Florida. I brought it home just like I said I would. You already know, shout out to Tab TV3. We here, we coming.
This is Lily Fades with Behind the Cut. Blayden, unfortunately, we just got the news that you didn't take it home. But before I even say anything to you, I want to say you are an amazing barber. You're very impressive since the beginning, since even seeing you like out here. All of us talked about how strong you are and what a bright future you're gonna have. We could see it already. So congratulations on even making it this far, and honestly, keep killing it. I know this is very disappointing. I know that you wanted to win, but tell us what's on your mind right now.
Man, what's on my mind is just putting that work, man. Continue putting in work.
How do you stay confident after this big upset?
Man, just go home to family, go home, stay grounded.
And would you, if you had to go back, if you had another chance, is there anything that you would have changed?
I mean, I probably wouldn't have spoke over him sometimes and just pretty much it,
Okay. And last question, do you have anything to say for future competitors that are going to be on BarberMania?
Man, grind and stay consistent. Come on, salute the barber. You know what's up.
Blayden, I just want to say one more time, congratulations. Keep going. You're an amazing barber.
Thank you.
Congratulations, you just took it all home. That's huge. You guys did amazing. You've done amazing throughout this competition. Tell me, how are you feeling right now? How did you feel when they announced you as the winner?
Man, I feel great, man. Like I said, when I first came here my first day, I said I'm bringing it home. I'm representing my city and also my podcast, Tab TV3. So, man, I just did what I did. I came here just to win. That's it. I was on a mission.
What do you think was the toughest part of this competition?
Definitely, I would say the Zeke challenge. And also the finals on the education part, man. I definitely learned that I need some help with that, so that's a good thing, though.
I know right now this is a lot to take in. Has it sunk in? Has it sunk in that you are the winner of season 3 BarberMania?
Not yet, but I know when I get home, I definitely will, because I have all my family there, all my team too. You know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely gonna feel it when I get home.
Is there anybody you want to shout out right now? Is there anybody that you want to tell anything to?
Yeah, I just want to say all glory to God first and foremost, and next, shout out to Tab TV3. Make sure you guys follow, subscribe, and also thank you BarberMania for having me. Shout out to GMB Pro and all the judges, man. Everybody was amazing. It was a pleasure. It was a blessing to be here.
Well, Ray, I just want to say congratulations again. You did an amazing job this season.
Thank you so much. Let's go. Tab TV3, baby, you already know.
Won't disrespect, so I disregard fools, all of them be facades. And they're still in the streets and they're writing statements. Oh my lord, there's rats at large. I copped it soft, but I turned it hard. Like how your girl gets me after dark. None of my peers got applied, no pressure. VIO, then I'm on that bars. Won't disrespect, so I disregard fools, all of them be facades. And they're still in the streets and they're writing statements. Oh my lord, there's rats at large. I copped it soft, but I turned it hard. Like how your girl gets me after dark. None of my peers got applied, no pressure. VIO, then I'm on that bars. Could've went home, but I stayed OT. You could've turned pack, but I bent my shank. They phone my phone when they know I've read. Just give me a few days, I'm out this pack. How you gonna touch little bro, not